probably the weirdest opening we've ever done.
Which one?
I mean, Jay's good, man. You just gotta. It's the fact, Jay, that we're always just gonna talk through the opening.
It's fine.
Yeah.
That's when we're actually at our most natural.
Yeah, yes, you're right.
I think about them. Like if we just did the whole show.
Isn't this the one that you like?
I love this one.
Yeah.
This is the castanet.
Yeah.
The next time we're gonna skip that. We're just gonna have you dance to it.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Welcome into the Recipe Podcast, Celebrity Secrets to a Successful Life. I'm your host, Chef Charles Carroll. What a great day. What a great show we have for you today. This is our Gourmet Club Live. Been a while since we've done one of these there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we're doing a Gourmet Club Live, and we're in studio with a very interesting chef, and we can't wait to get to that story. But first, we want to say, hey, Jay. Jay, you doing all right?
Yes.
Jay, that a boy. He's in mission control over there. There's a lot going on today. Monica's doing 2 jobs today.
Yes.
And we've already determined, Christian, we're not going to pay her extra for that, right? No.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yes or no?
I don't know how you do that math. I don't know if I can do that math.
Well, yeah.
That's some serious math.
Yeah, 0 times 0 is 0. So there you go. Right. Yeah. So I guess that's where that goes. So Monica, you doing all right?
Yeah.
All right. So we are. We're very excited about this particular show, and we have Chef David Skinner. David, welcome to the show. And
thank you.
Yeah, man, we're so excited to have you in studio. No relation to Leonard, is it?
No, that's Skinner.
Oh, okay.
Skinner.
That's before Monica's time.
And he called it Leonard.
That's right.
Leave it to you. I wish Eric was here. Eric would be murdering you right now.
Oh, that's a good band, though.
It is.
Yeah. You a fan?
Not really.
No? Okay, I was on time. So, Chef, quick drive up. I heard there was some traffic. Did you hit traffic on the way up?
A little bit of traffic.
Was 45 closed, or?
I came 225, so.
Yeah, he went the smart way.
Okay. See, he probably went on Google Maps or something.
Yeah.
I was on
Exactly.
Apple.
Yeah.
Apple
I don't
Maps.
even know what 220. Where's 225 come from?
You take 146 up and then 225 to 610.
All right, that's advanced stuff there.
Yeah. Takes you through all the.
It's called Google Maps, Christian. Yeah.
That sounds crazy to me.
Now you don't have that new car. You don't have that maps and stuff telling you what
I don't
to
have
do.
anything.
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
The 14 and a 16.
Bicycle.
Yeah, the 14 and a 16 doesn't tell you how to go.
I don't have that one yet. I'm sitting in a loaner.
Okay, all right.
Still.
So Chef, you have an amazing career. I can't wait to get to your journey. Is so awesome. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about you? And I have it all here, but I think I'd rather hear you tell your journey.
From the beginning?
Well,
so like an embryo or something?
Well,
or?
I mean, I think it's interesting that you started cooking when you were 4, and
Yes.
your grandmother had a big part of that, which I think
did.
Yeah, I think a lot of people could relate to that, right? Either a mom or grandmother in the kitchen, and you kind of tugging along, but by age 7, you were learning the basics, and I think by 12 she gave you a Julia Child book and your first knife.
That's right.
Yeah, so kind of, I mean, the story is amazing. I love your story. So tell us about that and about you a little bit.
Yeah. So I guess always love food.
Yeah.
You can tell by looking at me. I like food, right? But I started about 4. She was a pastry chef, always cooking. I just remember, going over to her house on the weekends, and she was always making a wedding cake or cookies or just something. Everybody knew in town she was the person to talk to if you wanted pastries or a cake or something.
And this is what town?
This is Ponca City, Oklahoma.
Oh, it was Oklahoma. Okay.
It was Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah, small town, headquarters of Conoco back then. So
right.
Yeah, and so I'm always like in the kitchen with her, and she's like, here's how you do this. She tried to make me a pastry chef.
Those guys are crazy. Don't go down that
I
road.
can't
Yeah.
do that. I didn't have the dexterity. She's like, oh, here's how you make a little, rose, and she'd like make it in like a second. I'm like, there's a big glob of icing, and that's it. That's what I would do. And so I'm like, that's not going to work. So anyway, she's like, well, here, if you really want to learn how to do this, start with this, and gave me a sabbatical chef's knife and Julia Child's cookbook, and here, get started with this. If you can do this, then you can do pretty much anything.
So did you like that in the movie Julia? Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's
It
well
was.
done. So tell me, how does a guy? At what age were you when you? It almost reads like that you were in high school when you started cooking. You started your own restaurant in the back of your grandmother's shop, your gourmet shop. You were in high school.
High school.
And so you would run out of school at like
DECA. So I was in DECA, so I got out early.
Okay.
Which was great. So it's like, really? I can have my own place and get out of school early? That's a
What's
good
DECA? I don't know what that is.
No, I don't even remember what it stands for, but yeah, it's but it's a program where if you want to go work, you get out of school early.
Gotcha.
Like if you have a job or you have something that you need to go to, as long as you have like proof of it, they let you go early.
You use it for credit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you get credit for it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
that's great.
if it's towards your field, like right.
But in high school, how do you know what your field is already?
I know
It
that
doesn't have to be towards your field. Well, now at
wasn't.
least.
Yeah. Okay.
Now it doesn't have to be. As long as you have like the credits needed to like not need those 2 last credits, they'll let you out early.
We never had that in New York.
Jay, maybe we'll let you out early and you can get credit too.
Okay.
All right.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I'd leave school like 2:00. You know.
So now whose idea was it? Was it your grandmother's idea? Was it your? Did you say,
was
hey,
my idea.
It was your idea, and she had space obviously in the back of
Right.
her shop, and how did you know that you were ready for that, or she must have believed that you were ready for it? I mean, who wrote the menu?
I did.
You wrote the menu. So how many items were on the menu?
When we first started, maybe like 15, something like that.
Damn.
Not too much.
That sounds like a lot.
Well, you know, the restaurant now we do 40 courses a night, so
Yeah.
15's like child's play.
But when you're in high school, though.
Yeah.
So did anybody help you? Did your grandmother help you? Did people
She
get
did.
involved? She did.
She did, yeah. She helped. My grandfather helped, and then started doing really well, and so we hired employees, and yeah, had other people come.
Isn't that brilliant?
So.
Yeah. And so what was it, like a little diner or something?
Bistro.
Okay.
Bistro. It was all French.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That
how
made sense.
Yeah.
So how long did you do that?
Well, I guess all the way through high school. So like
3 years. So 3 years, and then you ended up going to college. So wasn't there part of you that didn't want to give that up? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a young guy being successful,
I fought it.
making some.
really hard.
Okay, so people pushed you then to
My
go.
mother.
Okay,
Like threatened me.
there we go. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
But then you said, "Screw it! When I get to college, I'm gonna do the same thing."
Yeah.
So tell us how you did that.
Yeah. So went to Oklahoma State, and my mother had a restaurant also, and so she knew the
Also in
business-
Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah. Same town.
So why wouldn't you work there?
I did for a little bit.
Okay.
Were you
Yeah.
guys competing?
No.
Restaurants?
No.
Okay.
Nah. No, mine was much better.
Because that's weird. It's like, how's your
competition
restaurant
there.
doing, Mom?
Yeah, but was it awkward though that you went to work at your grandmother's place and started your own restaurant? And your mom had a restaurant. Was there any awkwardness?
No.
No. Everybody supported it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
fast forward to the college. You're there and you said, "I'm going to do it again."
Mm-hmm.
And how did you do that?
Well, I didn't start it until I guess I was a sophomore.
Okay.
So I just in the town where the college was at, which was Stillwater, Oklahoma. There really weren't very many good restaurants. There was plenty of pizza and burgers and fast food and crap like that. But if you wanted to have a really good meal, there wasn't really anything. And I'm like, well, there's a hole in the market. Why don't I just fill it? And funny thing, I went to school with Garth Brooks, and he was a bouncer at the bar across the street. So, yeah.
He was a big dude?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Met his first wife there. She put her fist through the wall, and he patched her up, and so anyway, that's how I met his first wife.
He said, I like her.
Yeah, she's feisty.
Yeah.
But yeah, there wasn't anything, and so I had a marketing professor at the time, and he was from Berkeley originally, and he's like, yeah, there's nothing here like, Chez Panisse or anything like that. He goes, you ought to start something. And I'm like, all right, why not? What have I got to lose, If you're going to take a risk, take it when you're early, young.
So how did you had probably a little bit of money in your pocket, right? Yeah. So did you put all your own money in, or?
Yeah, no investors. I don't like investors.
So how much was the space?
God, I don't remember. At the time, it was probably like $1,000 a month or something.
So, and there wasn't any equipment in there.
No, had to go buy equipment.
Gosh.
Built a walk-in.
So,
you know.
so out of pocket, roughly, if you can think about it, how much did you?
It was probably like 20 grand, something like that.
Yeah, and as a sophomore in college, you had that.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. So, how long did it take you to get open?
A couple months. Yeah.
Did you
wasn't too
rally your buddies?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this
Oh,
is
yeah.
a kind of a, I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, I was
all
in
your
a-
buddies, right? You get together and.
Well, I was in a fraternity,
Okay.
so I had lots of fraternity brothers
Uh-huh.
that all were looking for jobs and free beer, so it's like,
and
that was kind of easy.
How long did you run that one?
Till I graduated.
So three more years.
3 more years, yeah. So I had set the lease so that it would coincide with graduation.
And you made money in that one as well.
Yeah.
You pay yourself.
How
back.
many shifts was it open?
We just did dinner.
Yeah.
So I go to school during the day, come back in the afternoon. Usually I go to school from like 7:30 to noon.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I had set, and then come back, do prep, and we'd open up at 5 and close about midnight.
So when did you have time to study or anything like that?
Late at night.
Damn.
Late at night. Or
So-
if it's slow.
So
Yeah.
there's so many. Isn't this story awesome? There's so many questions I have. So as any young person making money, I mean, we're talking about a lot of years ago, right?
Yeah.
And you had 20 grand in your pocket as a young person. I mean, you're like a millionaire, right? I mean, back in the day.
Back in the day?
Yeah, I mean,
It was a long time ago.
and then you made money again. And so what I can't figure out is how, because you were amazingly successful for Conoco. When you graduated, how did you not just keep that going? Because you're achieving amazing success and you're making money.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I gotta believe that your heart was in it.
Yeah.
So did mom say, "Hey, you're not doing that. You're gonna get a real job," or what was it?
Not really. Well, what she told me, and so when I went to school, I got degrees in economics and finance, not culinary. So I didn't go to culinary school, which a lot of people are like, "Why didn't you go to culinary school?" I'm like, I've already had 2 restaurants. I can fix about anything. I'm not sure what it's going to do for me. So I thought, I'll go get business degrees. That's always going to be useful.
Yeah.
And when I was a little burned out. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
if you figure you're working, 18-hour days, going to school, it's just, kind of nuts. And I'm like, I've spent all this money and, 5 years getting these degrees. Maybe I ought to see what I can use them for,
So that was your decision.
It was my decision.
Okay.
Yeah. And, it's kind of like, I can always open another restaurant.
Yeah.
And I don't want another one in Stillwater. I was ready to go. I was ready to get the hell out of Oklahoma.
Yeah, copy that.
You know.
Now, did you sell it for? Did you get your money back?
I actually sold it to my fraternity brothers.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That were on a longer plan than 5 years. And they turned into a taco and beer restaurant.
Okay.
Called Two Frogs. And they kept that going for like, I don't know, 5 years. Something
Wow,
like
good for
that.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they eventually graduated during that time.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
it's okay.
now you were amazingly successful at Conoco.
Conoco was fun.
I mean, it sounds like you're a big part of.
Yeah, so I left. I left school. I went and did trading in the commodities market. So I had a friend that, longtime family friend, had a big brokerage company in Wichita, and did bond trading. And I was like, okay, because he was like, hey, if you want to come, I'll teach you the bond trade. I was like, great. I went there. And I was like, oh, dear God, this is like watching paint dry.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is painful. And after about 3 months, he was just like, what do you think? And I'm like, this is not the life for me. I can't do this. And he's like, well, what do you like? I'm like, something fast-paced where I can use my statistical knowledge and things like that. And he goes, well, you ought to go into commodities. He goes, that you can make it or lose it, in the blink of an eye. I'm like, that's my kind of business. So he had a friend that had a big commodities house and called him up and just said, hey, I got this kid, give him a shot. next thing I know, I'm trading, soybeans, and enjoyed it. It was fast paced. Some days you'd lose a fortune, next day you'd make it back. And,
Just with your own money, or you're doing other people's money? Other people's money.
Other people's money. Yeah. And built a statistical model, which led to sort of the soybean cornering issue back in the 80s. And yeah, feds come and knock on your door. It's not real fun.
Oh boy.
So anyway, thought that was kind of enough. And about that time, my grandfather died. My grandfather died, and my grandmother's like, "Hey, can you come home, help settle the estate?" Like, sure. Went back, and then it's like all of the family members, they're like, "Hey,
where's my piece?"
No. It was more like, "Hey, you should just stay here, go work for Conoco." And I'm like, that sounds kind of boring.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, they've got a big trading group, so maybe I'll go work there. So I called them up, and they're like, "Look, we'd love to have you, but we only hire from within, so you got to go find a job anywhere in the company. You can be a janitor, doesn't matter. But go find a job, and then we'll come hire you when we get an opening." And I'm like, all right, fine. So talked to another family member, and he's like, "Hey, there's this new guy in R&D just showed up from DuPont. He's wanting to do these weird statistical things and decision making and all this stuff, and sounds like something you might be interested in." I was like, okay, fine. So I called him up. Weirdest thing, his name was Tom Science. He was the new head of R&D. Yeah, smartest guy I think I've ever met in my life. We called him the Oracle. He was only about 4.5 feet tall, but he knew anything about anything.
Wow.
And so anyway, he's like, "Look, we're not seeing any results come out of R&D. We haven't had a new, product come out in years. I'm here to fix that. We're going to change everything. I need somebody to help work with all of the scientists and help them figure out how to actually deliver products." And so I was like, okay, sounds cool. He's like, "Well, given your statistical background and the stuff you've kind of already done, this might work." And I was like, all right. I'm thinking I'm going to be there for like 3 months. Trading group will come calling. I'll be out of here. No problem, right? And instead, I loved it. It was great. Got to travel all over the world, worked with all kinds of really cool people, did a lot of cool products, and it was great.
So like petrol-based product.
It was all kinds of stuff because DuPont owned them at the time.
Yeah.
So like Tyvek house wrap, that was one of my projects. So all the Tyvek that's on houses. Yeah. Because at the time, they couldn't figure out what to do with, they had this great fiber, had really amazing properties, and they were making envelopes, And it's like, how do we get the volume up? And so my team helped them figure out. First thing we did was we made clothes out of it. So I've still got a Tyvek jacket at my house, And the great thing was you could wad up in this little tiny ball, but you could put it on, it'd keep you warm because of the properties of the
Why aren't they using that anymore?
Because house wrap is a lot more profitable.
Okay.
Yeah. Think about how much you use on a house versus clothes.
So it insulates.
It insulates.
Yeah. And so did they use it for the envelopes that you can't see through? The ones that you can't put up to the light and you can't see through?
Yeah.
That's probably what it's for. Yeah.
They still use them for envelopes.
Right.
Because it's almost like indestructible. You can't get it apart.
Got it.
I always wondered about that, but it is also weatherproof too?
It is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So anyway, it was fun.
You're with Conoco how many years?
9 years.
Oh, 9, okay.
Yeah.
And then what?
And then, so that was through the late 80s and early 90s. And in 92, the company had a really bad plane crash. It kind of led to corporate rethinking across the board on how many executives can be on a plane at a time. So
Right.
it literally took out almost all the executives.
Oh wow.
Wow. They flew it into a mountain in Indonesia.
I think I remember
And-
something about that.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was 92. So my boss's boss, who was my sponsor, he died in the crash. Like, everybody died, and it was really bad. And anyway, so they went through a bunch of restructuring, and I could just kind of see where it was going. I'm like, enough of this, stupid shit. Like, should we water the plants every day or every other day? I'm like, really? How often are we going to take the trash out? I'm like, this is nuts. So anyway, I asked him for a sabbatical. I said, hey, can I have 6 months off? Go see if I can make, something work. And they gave it to me, which was great. Because at the time, I had already built up an internal consulting firm in the company, so we were doing projects everywhere. All the DuPont SBUs, all the Conoco SBUs. I typically would get on a jet on Monday morning and come back Thursday night, Friday morning, from somewhere in the world. And and so it was great because I got to travel the world on, Conoco dime. Ate in the best restaurants.
Try to eat all the food, yeah.
Exactly. And so anyway, I left. That was 95. My first client was Amoco, and they needed somebody to do their Gulf of Mexico deep water strategy. So got that gig. That was 6 months, which was the time of my sabbatical. I think Conoco was sure I was going to come back and want my job back. 6 months was up. I'm like, I'm not coming back. And they were like, really? Now what are we going to do? I'm like, I don't know. Hire me. So they were like my second client.
Ah, okay.
And then
Consulting.
Consulting.
Yeah.
And then it just grew from there. So by 2007, we were pretty much the largest oil and gas focused strategy firm in the world. We had offices here, Calgary, The Hague.
Wow. That was your company. And do you have any partners in that?
Unfortunately, I did.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the demise in 2007. So it was there was my wife, it was her 40th birthday, so we took a 2-week cruise to the Mediterranean, came back, and there was a little coup that had tried to go on. And anyway, it took me about a year to fix it, but by the time I was done, my heart just wasn't in it. So,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, but
it's okay.
But
I went
you,
on and started another company.
Yeah, but you made out you were able to salvage some savings out of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you were protected. You didn't lose all your hard work and hard earned.
No.
Yeah, so good. So then you started another company.
Yeah, then I started an oilfield service company, taking produced water from oil and gas wells. We clean it up to basically drinking water standards, and then sell that back to the producers.
Now,
so instead of just continually buying new water, we'd recycle. So it cut down dramatically on their cost, and it was a lot more efficient.
So during all this time, was the food thing burning in you? Did you know that you're going to go back to food?
Not really. No. I was having a good time. I mean, literally travel the world.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many Michelin stars I've got on my list, but it's several hundred.
Good. What's your favorite?
Right now?
Yeah, I mean, tell us the most memorable. A few of them.
My favorite restaurant right now is Enigma in Spain. Yeah, Albert Adria's place.
Where's that one?
Barcelona.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite right now.
I wonder if Luis, have you been to Luis's restaurant on BCN and have you seen his new one, Mad?
Mad. I haven't been there yet, but
I went the other day.
Is it good?
Yeah, we had Luis on the show. He and his boss both. What they did it's amazing. Well, I mean, the restaurants. Have you seen it yet, Christian?
I have not.
it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's just off the hook.
Yeah,
it's just way off. And then Luis is such a sweet guy.
Yeah,
and his boss has got quite a story. But yeah, it's definitely it's a cool experience. Yeah, they have a paella station, Christian. I think I showed you a picture of it. It's
Yeah.
hotter than shit, man. It's all wood. It's all wood burning, and so it's like a big open
Yeah.
cement platform, and then they just build wood fires everywhere, and then they put the paella on top of that.
Yeah.
But man, they have a bar counter there, but you just can't sit there.
Yeah,
It's
who
just-
would eat there?
I don't know how they can work that station, because they're just, I mean, it's got to be 100 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, well, that's cool. So, so you are doing these businesses that you owned for about, I'm trying to do the math now.
A long time.
Yeah, about 25 years or so.
Yeah.
And then that's when, so what was the aha moment that got you back into, take us now to the point where, okay, I'm going to stop these businesses and I'm going to get back into cooking. Tell us that thought process.
Yeah. So I guess the impetus for Eculent was I was well, up until, well, I guess it's never stopped. I've traveled the world for, God, I don't know, 30 years at least. I don't know. Looking at my wife, it's like at least
Yeah.
30.
She's not
Maybe longer than that.
She's not helping you.
She's not helping me. I can't even think back how long. Anyway, I love to travel. We both do. But anyway, I had gotten to the point with the water company. So we had a really incredible product, and I had picked some investors that weren't the ones that I probably should have picked, and they were just bugging the absolute shit out of me. It got to the point where literally they were calling me 7 days a week, and I'm just like, I've had enough, My wife's like, hey, it's them or us, we've had enough of this too, and so I just said, look, I got to go, and so told them kind of a timeline. Here's how I'm gonna leave. I'll help you find a new chairman, whatever you want, but I gotta go. And
So it was about money. They want more. They wanted more return.
no, it was control. They were just absolute control freaks.
Okay.
And I was just like, I've had enough. So I left, and my wife's like, so what are you gonna do now? And I said, well, I can go build another consulting firm. That's pretty easy. Know how to do that. But I've had this idea in my head for a restaurant, which is really crazy. And she's just like,
She's scrunching her face over
yeah,
there.
she's like rolling her eyes, and she's like, you want to do what? I was 49. And she's like, you're going to go back in the kitchen at 49.
Now did
without
you know
wear
him
and
when he was
tear.
cooking before? And these other? No, you didn't know him then, right?
No.
All right. But you're reaping the rewards at home, though, right? Are you enjoying? No, you're not cooking at home for your bride.
Yeah, she's the cook at home.
Oh, okay. All right.
I've had enough.
So
I get home, it's like, what's for dinner? And she's like, I don't know, crock pot. I'm like, great, that sounds good. It's that or Taco Bell, right? So you're a chef,
yeah, copy.
Yeah. So anyway, the whole idea had come about. I'd taken a trip to China, and I had a really bad meal at the airport. I won't tell you what it was, but it was really bad. And so the whole way over, I'm paying the price for a really bad meal. 26 hours on a plane. It's like,
Wow.
yeah. And I don't sleep on planes. I never have.
Yeah.
And so I always do thought experiments. So I always take a notebook, just like, do some weird thought experiment. And because food was on my mind, my whole thought was, what restaurant's never been done? That's a really hard experiment. So the whole way over, I couldn't think of anything. It's like, what kind of tacos haven't been done? Everything. I got a friend starting an Ethiopian taco truck. It's like, okay.
I
So,
don't know what that protein is. Anyway.
yeah, I'm like, so what? What hasn't been done? And you think of all the fusions and everything, and I mean, there's stuff that just doesn't make sense. You go, yeah, well, that ain't gonna work. But so the whole way over, really didn't come up with anything. On the way back, I started thinking, all right, if I just deconstruct a restaurant, what are the components? And the thing that came to mind was the atmosphere in every restaurant, pretty much anywhere in the world, is static, right? So you walk in, the tables, the chairs, everything's where it's just there. It's always the same. You sit in one spot the whole time you're there, right? artwork is the same. The music is always the same, right? You go to a Mexican restaurant, I guarantee you, at some point during your food, you're going to hear mariachi music, right? Right? I mean,
Yeah.
it just is, right? So, so I thought, okay, well, what if we turned the tables on that? What if we made all of the atmosphere dynamic so we could alter it at a moment's notice and change it with every course?
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of where it started. And so I was like, all right, well, you know, we can figure out a way to alter the music. That's easy. It's probably the easiest thing, right? What about the artwork? So all of our artwork's digital, so we can change it at a moment's notice. And then smell. That was really the most interesting thing and took the longest, was to kind of figure out what can you do with smell? Because 80% of what you actually think you're tasting in food, you're smelling, right? So it's either orthonasal, so you're breathing it in from the atmosphere, or it's retronasal, and it's coming from basically chewing the food and smelling it as you're chewing it. Only 20% comes from your taste buds, which is why if you got a head cold, nothing tastes like anything. It's just all crap, right? So I was like, wow, what could we do with smell? There's got to be incredible stuff we can do. And that took probably the longest. So I worked with a fragrance designer in Los Angeles that did Katy Perry's perfume, a bunch of other celebrities. He also did her concert tour. So if you ever went to a Katy Perry concert, she'd have the whole stadium smell like bubble gum.
Yeah.
Yep.
I heard.
Yeah, this is the guy that would do it. Also, if you go to like Starwood hotels anywhere in the world, they all smell the same. And now, you know, casinos are getting into it.
Mandalay Bay has a specific smell that
Yeah.
I've always. It's like it makes you want to spend money or something.
Yeah. No, I
That's
agree.
what it is. No, that's what it is.
Yeah, Louis Vuitton too. They have this. Like some serious. It
is.
It takes over the whole place.
They call it scent branding now, but 6 years ago when we started in, it was just this crazy.
That's crazy.
Idea. But if you think about it, it's like adding another layer of flavor or another layer of spice to a dish, right? The cool part is you can put it in and take it out at a moment's notice, right? It doesn't have to be in for the whole dish, so you can hit them with a bit of smell at the beginning and then take it away.
How do you take it away?
You just stop putting it in the atmosphere.
Okay.
So we've got scent generators we built that are in the ceiling. So I can put 11 different smells or combinations of them into the air at any time.
So it's not like perfume where it stays, because perfume stays.
Perfume stays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So this is vapor?
It's vapor.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And that took the
Oh,
longest.
that brings an idea. I'm just kidding.
That brings the longest. Yeah, the funniest part.
Yeah, they want to order more food. Yeah.
Everybody seems to continue to eat during this whole.
Yeah, they're getting really hungry now. Yeah.
Yeah. The funniest part, and when I knew we actually kind of had something, was because we did 6 months of just test dinners before we even opened to the public. And because we were trying to figure all this out. I mean, opening a restaurant is hard enough, but opening a restaurant where you're dynamically changing everything like all the time is just like insane.
Yeah.
And
Now, did you have any influence that helped that thought, that all this thought of this creation of this? Because to me, Alinea comes to mind.
yeah,
Have you been to Alinea?
yeah, and we get compared to Alinea a lot. I was thrilled with the Washington Post article that came out that said our food was better than Alinea's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but yeah,
It's very stiff in there, isn't it?
yeah.
Have you been, Christian?
I've
Alinea?
never been.
It's different.
You know, I went, and of course, you know, when you have an event like that, you know, when you've been to a lot of Michelin, I've been to, I don't know, a few, but when you know you're going and you know you're going to pay a house payment, you know that you get excited about it, right? You can't wait for the expectations, like going to Charlie Trotter's back in the day, and what. So when I was going to Alinea, I was really excited about it for a long time. And I have friends of mine, dear friends of mine, that have worked with Chef Grant. And so I thought, you know, this is going to be great. So I had the dinner, and after the dinner was over, because one of the courses were in the kitchen. And so after dinner was over, I was going to go over, and I didn't want to talk to him before because he's always, you know, like, you know, always thinking you can't approach the artist.
precise.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
approach the artist during the, and of course everybody's watching now. Look how serious he is, you know.
But he's a cool guy.
Yeah. So I went. So after the dinner, I was going on it, and then wait. So, oh no. I said, actually, we have mutual friends. My name is Charles Carroll, and at the time I was president. Blah blah blah. And I just want to say, no. After service, chef can't talk to anybody. He's got to decompress. And I said, okay. I said, it's cool. So I couldn't talk to him. Yeah. So that was it. But that was it. So you obviously went there, but that wasn't because you were already thinking about this before going to his. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's only really 2 other restaurants in the world that do anything like what we actually do.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's a lot of restaurants that are kind of playing around with smells, and they'll do different things. And like Alinea, he does the scented pillow and some things like that, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
The only place that's close to what we do is Ultraviolet in Shanghai, and what's the other place? Sublimation in Ibiza, and that's the closest.
Wow.
But theirs is really too high tech and too, I don't know, it's like too sterile for me.
Yeah.
It's 10 diners at a community table, and you're in a room that all the walls are white, and they use digital projectors to change it, and I don't know. It's not what I wanted to do.
So you've been open now 5 years.
5 years.
5 years. And there's 20 seats, is that right?
No. 6.
6 seats. 6 seats.
6.
Wow.
Now 6. We did, when we first opened, I had 3 menus and 32 seats. That was freaking insane. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I must have, I don't know, had a brain fart. But but anyway, yeah, we did. We had a vegetarian menu, a Texas menu, and a wild and crazy menu. We're now just doing wild and crazy. But if people need vegetarian, we just substitute, which is fine.
And how many days are you open?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday for 6. Tuesday and Wednesday we'll do up to 12, but those are private parties. So you got to book the whole place.
Well, I mean, 6 is a whole.
12. Up to 12.
Up to 12.
Up to 12.
Okay, but the party, isn't it always just one party of the 6, or is it?
Of the 12.
Okay.
We only do one party.
But of the 6?
Of the 6,
you put
it's
people
usually
together.
3. It's usually 3 couples.
Oh, it is 3 couples.
Mm-hmm.
You can't buy the 6?
You can if you're quick.
Yeah. So how far out are you booked?
2040.
Are you serious?
As almost 3,000 people on our wait list. Yeah. So we
2040.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, we just we open up 2 months at a time, and so the last opening we sold out in 2 minutes. So I don't know what the next one. The next one opens on August 1st. I don't know. It might sell out in 30 seconds. We'll see. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And that August 1st is for when?
For September and October.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's 1 month ahead of when we open.
Gotcha. All right. Cool.
Yeah, so it's a good problem to have. We don't have to worry about filling seats.
Well, Christian is one of the top wine guys in the country, and been all over the world as well. And I see you have a vineyard as well.
We have a winery. Mm-hmm.
And Christian, why don't you take over?
Where's that?
Right behind the restaurant.
Okay, and where are you getting the fruit from?
California mostly.
Okay.
Yeah. Do a little bit of Texas, but not too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How do you find the time?
I have a really good winemaker I got from Sterling.
Okay.
And so I used to do the winemaking before we did the restaurant, but
So you making wine there
uh-huh.
and getting the restaurant going?
Yeah.
And those 3 menus you had were like 30 courses as well?
No.
Okay.
No. We started out, there were 9 courses each.
Yeah, it's still a lot.
Yeah.
And
But it's still a lot.
And now
But
it's 40.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I don't know where we're going to stop. We're doing a 100-course dinner August 17th at the Museum of Natural Science.
How small are the dishes?
Half an ounce apiece.
So really it's just like amuse over and over again.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. I've got 40 chefs coming in from around the world that are gonna help. So it's called Around the World in 10,000 Bites. It's for the James Beard Foundation.
What's the date on that?
August 17th.
And they're doing it at your restaurant?
We're doing it at the Museum of Natural Science.
Oh, that's right. You just said that.
The night before we're doing
Dense.
the night before we're doing a reception, which is really kind of like Around the World in 20 bites.
Okay.
So you get to try 20 of the 100 courses. We still have some tickets available for that. The dinner sold out in about a week. But the reception is going to be really cool because you're going to get to meet all the chefs, get to try like 20 of the courses. We've got an insane amount of caviar coming. The caviar sponsor I've got sending like 40 kilos of caviar in, so it's going to be nuts.
How'd you get all these chefs?
Just know them. Yeah, so like I've got Manu Bafura coming in from Brazil. She's San Pellegrino's chef to watch for the year, top 50. Alex Atala was going to come, but he ended up with a conflict. Dominique Crenn was the first one that signed up, and she was ready to go, and then she came down diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh,
so
damn.
we're actually doing part of the donation is going to breast cancer research in her name. But I think Juan Contreras, her pastry chef, is going to come. But I've got like Aaron Bludorn, who's going to open a restaurant here in town.
Wow.
He's coming. I've got Jason Niederkorn, who was Jeremiah Towers' sous chef at Stars, coming. I mean, there's a badass roster of chefs.
So,
awesome.
so the actual dinner's on the 17th.
Dinner's on the 17th, reception's on the 16th.
You want to go ahead and plug whatever you said. There's tickets available to something. Go ahead and tell people.
Yeah, there's tickets available for the reception on the 16th. You can go to the website, which is called aroundtheworldin10,000bites.com, and you can see all the information there. All the chefs are up. We've got a number of local chefs, so like Kaiser's going to do Pakistan. I've got Michael and David Cordura doing Nicaragua. But the whole concept is there's 10 countries and there's 10 bites from each country. So in one sitting, you get to sort of understand the flavors and cultures of the cuisines of 10 different countries, all in one sitting, which is kind of like impossible to do. And it's actually 101 courses. Nobody's ever done 101. There's been 300 course dinners, but this one's going to be nuts, absolutely nuts.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the museum's great. The reception's going to be in the Fabergé room, and I've got a special dish we're doing in a Fabergé egg replica.
Wow,
it's going to be crazy.
Well,
Absolutely crazy.
that's really awesome. I could talk to you for another hour, but we're up.
We got to do a part 2.
Yeah,
Part two?
we're up. Yeah, for sure. Would you come back again and do another?
Sure.
You know what I'd love to do too is I'm trying to think of a way. Obviously, you don't need any help promoting it because it's going to sell. But I would either two things. I would love to have some. If you guys, if you want to come back and bring a bunch of your people, I don't know when they're coming into town, in the studio, or we can take our podcast down and
Do you want to do that?
do a live show there and talk to the chefs as they're coming and going. But think about it but yeah, I mean, this is what the show's about. I mean, we would love that, And
we can set that up. We've got a film crew that's going to be doing a documentary on the whole thing. So they're going to be there running around. But yeah, if you want to come down to the museum, most of the chefs are showing up on Wednesday.
Okay.
But I've got about 6 chefs that are coming in on Sunday and Monday. Start to prep. The museum's been fabulous. I can't say enough good things about them. So we're going to have if you've been to the museum anytime recently, they've got this huge moon that's hanging in the atrium. We're going to have a prep area set underneath there starting on Thursday. And so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the whole public can actually come by, see all the chefs prepping for the dinner and for the reception. It's going to be really cool. Also, the Hotel Zaza, they've given us their banquet kitchen to help with. So
I was just gonna say we have 6 kitchens in our club right down the road here, and we have a large, pretty good sized banquet kitchen with a lot of refrigeration. So if we can be of any help, if one of your chefs need a sponsor or a place to, it's great space, plenty of speed, plenty of everything.
okay,
We got great space. So if you need anything, let us know. We'll happy
We'll do
to
it.
take good care of them and even help them prep. You know, we have quite a few team members at the
yeah.
club.
Wow.
And
Hands are important.
yeah, and yeah. So we'll talk about that.
Okay.
But Chef, any other plugs for your personal website, or I mean, there's so much more. I mean, you also taught at Rice University. You're an author, and I mean, there's so much, man.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, but anywhere else where people can find you on your personal website or anything like that?
Yeah, so eculent.com is the best place to go. You can find links to all of it. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram. But yeah, go check out Around the World in 10,000 Bites. It's going to be crazy. The other thing, so besides the winery, we have a distillery that's going to open in about another month. So if you
Clear
like,
Creek.
at Clear Creek.
Yeah.
The distillery is going to be called Skinner Family Distillery, and
Okay.
we are going to focus on gin, but we're also going to produce a vodka and a bourbon
Wow.
at a time. So, but
Wow.
gin's the focus.
Wow.
We've got 3 different gins we're going to start with, and it's going to be pretty special.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, all kind of chef-driven
Gins.
alcohols.
Yeah.
Which is really different than just your standard.
Oh,
London
really
dry.
cool. Super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. Well, man, congratulations on everything.
Thanks.
It sounds like you're loving life. I mean, it sounds like you're
can't-
enjoying, yeah?
I can't complain.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. Chef, it was a real pleasure to meet you and enjoyed the show that I saw on TV, and it's just it's a real honor. So I appreciate you coming in and taking time.
Happy to do it.
All right, thank you, Chef.
Thanks,
you.
Chef.
So listen, this is the Gourmet Club Live. How many times are you gonna get a show like that, right? So I hope you all enjoyed the show, the Gourmet Club Live, and I want to give a shout out to our sponsors again. I know I skipped you at the beginning of the show, but Dunkin' Coffee, some of the best coffee and amazing tea. Dilma tea is the best tea in the world. So make sure, and they'll grind any coffee that you want, any specialty blends. But you got to have the tea. It's the best in the world that they have. Dilma tea. Aceway Incorporated. They'll clean anything, whether it's kitchens or apartment buildings or whatever it is you have. They'll clean it, and they'll do it with great attention to detail. Texas Beef Council. We love them because they love chefs and they take care of us. And the Escoffier School of Culinary Arts, a great online programming there. And American Culinary Federation. We're going to be live at the American Culinary Federation the first weekend in August. So if you're in the industry, you need to go to that convention. It's going to be a great time. If you're there, stop by and say hello, and we'll be doing a live show there. So, again, Chef, thank you for coming in. We look forward to coming down to your restaurant. We're gonna try to get on that list, huh, Christian?
Yeah.
Try. Sneaking.
2041.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, 2041.
Yeah, so that's it. Remember, everybody, you're especially great. Yeah, what are you doing in 2040, right?
Doing the math. Hold on. Doing the math.
What are you doing in 2029? Okay, on Thursday, yeah. But remember, you're especially great. Get off your gas and do something today. See you next time. Wow, man.